This Girl Scout project with the American Legion, I'd really like to retire your flag. Is that okay? And if they allowed me, I took their flag, and if they need a new one, I replaced it.
It shows the Legion, the community, the veterans, that our younger generation does care. There are good kids that really care about our country.
The ability to lead, to care, to take a cause under your wing and make a difference, that's what changes the world. And that's what we want for our girls, for our daughters, and for our Girl Scouts.
I just love watching these vignettes. It's an inspiration, and it sure gives you faith in our future, doesn't it, when we've got young women like this and the excellent things that they're doing already in high school. Give them another round of applause. One of the young women who was featured in the video is with us today. The other two are away at college. I'd like to introduce you to Brandy Wade. Brandy, will you please stand? And Brandy's parents are here along with Pearl's parents. Will you also please stand? Congratulations to these girls and best wishes for what I know will be a very dynamic future. It's my pleasure now to welcome back to the stage our host for today's luncheon, Lieutenant Governor Sue Ellspermann, accompanied by Board Chair Crystal Livers Powers and a Girl Scout, Emily Taylor. Welcome.
The Girl Scout mission is to build girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. The women we're honoring today exemplify key components of that mission, and I can't wait to share the stories with you. Each will receive an exclusive pin that was custom designed by Windsor Jewelry for our honorees as a remembrance of their award. Our sincerest thanks to Greg Byers at Windsor Jewelry for his continued support of our luncheon. Would you thank with me Windsor Jewelry? It's my pleasure to present today's awards to these four phenomenal women. Our first honoree is being recognized for courage. Emily, will you please remind us the definition of courage?
Courage, mental or moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand difficulty.
I'm Cindy Hoy. I'm the Executive Director of the Indiana State Fair Commission. We operate a 250-acre complex that's mission is focused on preserving this institution of the Indiana State Fairgrounds and then continuing to evolve it and make it better. During the 17 days of the fair, it's a hub of the state fair, and then for the other 300 plus days out of the year, it's a year-round event center. I did not go to school for agriculture. I grew up in the suburbs, but I always looked at the kids in the barns and thought, oh wow, I'd love to do that. So pursue your passion. Pursue whatever it is that makes you get up in the morning and says, I'm gonna make this better. I think what it is, it's taking every opportunity and working as hard as you can to get something out of that opportunity. I tell you what my favorite quote is about courage, and it's from John Wayne. And you know, he said, courage is when you're incredibly afraid and you saddle up anyway. And I just believe that it is being able to stand up for what you believe is right. And sometimes it's lonesome being at the top and having to make some of those decisions, but you gather your partners, gather your stakeholders, and then fundamentally you have to make a decision. learned some very tough lessons. And again, we had a choice to make, and we made the choice of we're going to be stronger, we're going to be better, we're going to be the best at a comprehensive emergency management plan, we're going to be the best at managing safety. We've had to be courageous and to face some of those things head on, but then become better because of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cindy Hoy.
You can be amazing, you can turn a phrase into a weapon or a drug. You can be the outcast, to be the backlash of somebody's lack of love. Or you can start speaking up.
Oh, wow, what an honor. Can we just do a quick round of applause for these great leaders or growing up to be leaders in Girl Scouting? They're adorable. Debbie Smith and the Central Indiana Girl Scout Association, thank you so much. Just so you know, it's just not the Indiana State Fair that deep fries everything on a stick. She's the one that decided to deep fry Thin Mints. And they're my favorite now at the Indiana State Fair. Thanks to you, Debbie, and thanks to your team. We really appreciate working with you. Well, it's true. I also want to take a minute and thanks. I have the privilege to stand up here and represent the Indiana State Fair Commission and the fair, but it's an incredible team of people that I am privileged to work with every single day. My team, would you stand up and let us thank you for what you do behind the scenes to preserve and enhance the Indiana State Fairgrounds? At the core of the team and the chairman of the Indiana State Fair Commission, who you were introduced to earlier, was Chairman Andre Lacey. Personally, my chairman is my mother, Barbara Clark, and she has also joined us here today. Thank you, Mom, for being here. Oh, you get a round of applause. Yay. And then in Indiana, I just want you to know how lucky we are to have a brilliant woman who has so much energy and is leading our state, and that's Lieutenant Governor Sue Ellspermann. Thank you for all you do for Indiana. I was lucky enough this Monday is to be with her when she announced this year for the Indiana State Fair is the Year of the Farmer. Looking forward to a great year, celebrating that all year long. Okay, just like anybody, I dug into the old trunk and found I was with Troop 856. Now, I can point out some of these badges, like this one right here is ice skating at the Coliseum. Love that. But this little man here that's standing like this, he looks like he's on a saucer. If anybody has any idea what that was all about, let me know. So Girl Scouts has truly made an impression, both physically and emotionally with me. And Camp Delwood, I became a little entrepreneur, and I used to take sticks and saw them into wooden rings and use my Girl Scout knife, believe it or not, at the time, and make rings for 50 cents. Had a gold mine going until I had a career injury that happened with the hacksaw on this part of my thumb. So every time when I look down at my thumb, I remember fondly the Girl Scouts. So one of the things, and kind of getting serious for a minute, is when I was notified I was getting this about courage, well, of course, the first thing my husband said was, well, what do you mean? You're afraid of heights? And so, of course, I Googled it, like anybody else would, right, in this day and age. And it's a French word, courage is, and it talks about your core and what you really value. And then I go back to Simon Sinek, who wrote this book. He wrote this book about you start with why. And it's not what you do, it's not how you do it, but it's why you do it. It's what inside drives you. What drives me every day is to make the fairgrounds even better and better year after year. But core, your values, that's what courage really is. And you know, it takes courage to stand tall for your beliefs and your values. And sometimes you have to dust yourself off a little bit, but you keep going.
Now, my Brownie leader and my Girl Scout leader taught me that. She said to me, she said, when you need some courage, you're gonna stand up, you're gonna throw your shoulders back, you're gonna put your head up, and you're going to rely on your why and rely on your core beliefs and persevere, and you're not gonna quit. So, Mom, thank you for teaching me that. Thank you for teaching me how to be better, how to have courage, how to stand tall for what I believe in. And for you, Mom, I'm gonna recite for you the Serenity poem. You know, God grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change and the courage to change the things we can. So for all of you, I thank you. I'm so honored to be with all of you, and I appreciate this award so much. Thank you.
Confidence, a feeling or belief that you can do something well or succeed at something.
I'm Sarah Fisher, and I am the founder of Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing, that is now merging with Ed Carpenter, so Carpenter Fisher Hartman Racing, CFH Racing. I drove at Indianapolis the 500 for 9 years and started out as an athlete race car driver turned entrepreneur. For me, it's a lot about the competitiveness. I really enjoy trying to figure out how to make these cars faster so that I can beat the guy next door. For me, it's about science and math and using all these tools that you learn to put yourself in a better situation, to put yourself in a better car that's faster and more capable and at the end of the day can win races. From an entrepreneurial side, you know, I've always had this sort of do-it-yourself personality and sort of not having any fear in regards to going out there and, you know, achieving something. You know, once I set my sights on a goal or a mission, you know, the only steps that I look at is how do I get there and how quick can I get there? I guess my confidence really stems from following through with the things I put in place that I say I'm going to do. And everyone in my industry, our peers, drivers, my family, everyone respects that. Alongside that same follow-through idea of checking off the steps it takes to achieve your goal, you know, you're gonna have good days and bad days. And especially in racing, it's so roller coaster, right? One day you're winning a race, the next day you could lose your best friend. So for me, it's about making an even attempt every day because you know that even though there's going to be bad days, you're gonna have a lot of good days in return.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sarah Fisher.
What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, you know I got it. All I'm asking is for a little respect. Just a little bit, baby, just a little bit. Just a little bit, mister, just a little bit.
Oh yes, thank you so much, everyone. It's an incredible honor to be here. In my past, while I was driving, I got to work with the Girl Scouts a little bit, and it was just such an awesome experience. So I hope I can continue that, being an entrepreneur and being able to show the shop and the facility. We've already had a troop or two come through and see it, so I welcome that to share all the math and science that goes into our motorsports industry. So confidence, right? Confidence is and has been and always will be a part of any success in racing, especially being in a male-dominated field. Got to have confidence when you go up against Michael Andretti, right? Who? So I give great credit to the Girl Scout organization because through their organization and what they do, they give girls the opportunity to share with each other their abilities. And when they share their abilities, they find confidence in that. And together, they're able to, rally together and provide each other an environment to grow and to develop that confidence into something that will be huge one day, like myself. So, and what we do here, I'm just so happy that you all have chosen me to receive the Confidence Award, and I'm so happy that the Girl Scouts does what it does to give girls an environment to improve and grow female leaders in the future. So thank you very much.
Character, qualities of honesty, moral force, and integrity.
My name is Viola Pharaoh. I was the judge of the Monroe County Juvenile Court. When I was in my 40s, I decided I would go to law school. It was the best decision as far as my career is concerned that I've ever made. I didn't realize how much children meant to me until I got involved in that. Because in juvenile court, you deal with the children who are neglected or abused. You deal with children who have committed delinquent acts, and some of the acts are very, very serious. And it's the kind of job where you learn not to cry. And you do what you can. They're still a person. Can they change? Of course. And that is the way we dealt with these young people. They were never disrespected. I never, ever, ever called a child a bad child. I said what you have done is unacceptable. And that's a significant difference. I think we all have an opportunity to make developments in our lives and to change and to overcome some of our shortcomings, because we all have that. I still believe that it's very important that some person in your life makes a difference in your life. And it can be, sometimes it's school teachers, sometimes it's next door neighbors that you see. It can be a number of things, but it's something that we all should have an opportunity to grow and develop character.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Honorable Viola Pharaoh.
One thing I can say about children, especially the children George and I have, is that you can't trust them. We have 4 daughters. 2 of them are here. We didn't expect any of them. And I talked to Donna, who is really the one at fault, several times, day before yesterday. She never said a word. So one of the things you have to learn is that as they get older, you really can't trust them. You know, this is such an honor. First of all, to this organization, I want to tell you that you do not know how much you have helped children in this country. And we owe for you a round of applause. As you have already heard, I was a school teacher and also a judge of the juvenile court in Monroe County. And of all the experiences I've ever had, the one in Monroe County was the most challenging. But if I had the opportunity, I would do it again. We cannot overlook our children, and we're not doing a good job. There are too many children who are being abused and neglected. If you don't believe me, spend about 5 days in juvenile court, and you will become a believer. But this organization is so very important, not just to the children, but to the community, because it's through the eyes of this agency that many adults pay attention to children. There are far too many adults who don't like children if they're not from certain homes or certain backgrounds. That's nonsense. So I want to thank you very much. I know you're in a hurry, but I do have something I need to tell you. And it is about the man I've been married to for a long time. Now, you all have Girl Scout cookies, right? Okay. We were at a friend's house, and she gave us 2 boxes of Girl Scout cookies. So we ate one, we used it, and then I came back, and the other one had been used. Eaten, in other words, by George, all of it. So I told my friend, and she said, well, I'll send you 2 more. And I said, thank you. I said, because this time I'm going to hide them. Guess what happened? He found both of them. So what I have to say is this: don't give my husband any Girl Scout cookies. And just a few more words. We must be mindful of the needs of children. And I encourage every one of you to help them with money, with your attention, and with your heart. Thank you so much.
Make the world a better place, quite simply. A change maker. Someone who can see the improvements that must be made in a positive way for the betterment of all.
I'm Angela Kane. I'm the Community Affairs Director at WTHR TV, Channel 13, and I lead all the station's community service campaigns such as Codes for Kids, the Race for the Cure, the Shattering the Silence Special, and I also host a noon focus interview segment that profiles organizations, community nonprofits, 3 days out of the week on the noon show, and I host community calendars which tell people what's going on around their community and how to get involved, and those run every day. You know, I was a news anchor and reporter for about 18 years in Dallas before I came back here. Big market, a lot of hard news, a lot of crime, a lot of sad stories. And something in me just said, I want to use whatever gifts I've been given in this business to serve. So I love it. I mean, I just thought, man, this is my dream job. I get to still report. I get to deal with issues that matter in this community, you know, and I get to help people. It's not just a job, it's a calling. That's how I feel. Coming from a poor background where we had to work when we were young, you know, because we were poverty level, I know what it's like to struggle. To come from a place where you don't necessarily know where your next meal is coming from, or where the church pitches in and helps your mom feed you. And so I have a heart for families who may not have the riches in life, but have the same kind of values, the same kind of compassion and concern and love. We're all more alike than we are different, whether we're rich or we're poor. I think we make the world a better place by understanding that we can serve wherever we are. Long ago, I wanted to be a missionary overseas, and I've learned that you can be a missionary right in your own backyard. One of my favorite quotes is from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when he says, anyone can be great because anyone can serve. That's how we make the world a better place.
gentlemen, please welcome Angela Kane.
I'm already crying. I'm an emotional person, and my sister's betting me that I will not cry, so I'm going to try not to. And in order to do that, I'm going to stick to my script so that I don't go off on a tangent. But first, I want to honor all these beautiful women who've been honored today. I look up to them. Let's give a hand to all these women who've done wonderful things. I'm honored to be in their company. And sometimes I marvel at where life has taken me. I never thought I would be on television, believe me. For 30 years now, I'm aging myself here. I once was called the quiet child of 6 who shunned the spotlight until others saw talents in me that I didn't even see in myself and sort of took me out of the shadows. So even being on this stage still scares me, believe it or not. My mom raised us, though, with humility, and my faith taught me that I am no better than anyone else. I believe that we are all unique and special and that we all have a God-given purpose in our lives. Who am I to be singled out? So getting this award is one of the most humbling experiences for me because I never think about awards, really. I don't ever do what I do for awards. I serve because it's what I feel God called me to do, the reason I feel He created me. When I quit anchoring years ago, I thought I would have to completely get out of the news business because there's a lot of hard news in news to serve. So I feel blessed that Channel 13 is so community-minded and has this community affairs position so that I could live my passion for helping others. I've been able to create a campaign that some of you may have heard, Shattering the Silence Against Domestic Abuse and Teen Dating Abuse. For 12 years now, I've been able to have that platform to help people find hope and healing. I've also been able to lead other campaigns to direct people to community resources for help and hope through news interviews and stories. And I've been able to profile all the great ways many of you serve. This